Everything changed when I stopped looking at the symbols on the dollar bill as what it is and start saying, who put it there and why did they put all of these type of symbols on the dollar bill? Were there some hidden message for us, or was that some mark of territory for them? Let's get into it. So today, even though there's a lot more on this dollar bill, I'm going to go through 10 of these hidden symbols, which there's probably 50 of them. So we'll do more videos in the future. It just depends on you. If in the comments you tell me to keep going, I'll show you more. And when we get to the front, I will then show you why we're moving to cryptocurrency. And they had already told us in this dollar bill that the money was coming to an end. So as you can see, we have 10 different areas that I'm pointing to with these arrows, and I'm going to go through each one of these individually, starting with number 1. This was where number 1 is. This says Novus Ordo Seclorum. And this have a hidden meaning, and let me tell you what it is. This is Latin, and it stands for the new order of ages is born. And literally what this really means is they're saying that this is a new world order. And they say it right up front, right in our faces, so we know where the world is going, but they claimed it right here when they first did this one. So let's move over to number 2. So we're going to point right here to where number 2 went, okay? And this is number 2 out of the 10, which is actually these two words together. These two words is anut copious. And what this means is he has favored our undertakings. He has favored our that's anut copious. You can go look this up in dictionary.com as well, so you can find the hidden meanings in what this means. And we'll put it all together at the end. Next, we'll get into what I call number 3, which I pointed here, but it's really going to be the entire pyramid itself. Now, in the beginning, type of symbols was just a position of authority until I start studying the geometry and the hidden meanings of all of these particular parts of what they have here on this dollar bill. So when you think about number 3, it is the Egyptian pyramid as a whole. And if you go back, the Illuminati was one of the people that decided to I will say steal or use this particular symbol as a symbol of power. And when you go back to this triangle, it was a representation of the ancient wisdom in Egypt itself. And so also in the Bible, when they talk about, and this is some historians say that Egypt was the unsaved world, that they said that was rebelling against God. And that was some of the stories that they were saying that Egypt. Now we can always say, well, was it because they were telling the truth and the Bible had their own version of what God was or wanted us to think? Possibly that could be. Put your thoughts in the chat and let me know what you think about this particular number 3 here. Now here's number 4. Now here's where the pattern starts to become a system. Now, this is the representation of the all-seeing eye, and it always been related to Horus. When you go back and look from, again, this was taken from the Egyptians, and Horus at the time was also represented, or he was worshipped as what we consider protection. And so that was one of the things, the way that they represented Horus. And then he was always depicting him as a hawk, right? And then he would always be seen catching his prey. So that was the part of Horus being the protector. And they also said that Horus, he was the son of Isis and Osiris. The way that the mythology or the Egyptian mythology said that Horus was born out of, which was important to know, which is witchcraft. This is what some of the historian stories, and you can go look this up yourself to kind of verify any of this information. But Horus was the son of Isis and Osiris, and through some of the mythology is that he was born through some type of sorcery or witchcraft, and that was ancient Egyptian mythology. Now, later on, this particular falcon, as we start thinking about it back in the day, landed all the way over here to where the American eagle was supposedly modeled after Horus, which being the hawk and also being able to catch his prey and all that. And we know the bald eagle goes out and the way it catches his fish and everything else. But the American bald eagle, or was adopted since it's on the United States American dollar, was from the mythology story of Horus. Another point I would like to make, that this is considered the left eye of Horus. And the way they said it, that this left eye was taken from the moon, and some say, or sound of Horus, from Horus himself. So this was representing his left eye. Now, some say, in some cases, that Horus, detestable god, but not just any god, it was supposed to be tied to a pagan god, okay? Go do some of the research yourself. And that's because him being the son of Isis and Osiris is the reason that they tagged it that way. And if you go and look at a lot of background of other type of religions, especially Mormonism, as well as Masonry or Masonry, all of these actually have some type of pagan built into their type of philosophy or the way they teach it. But the main question that I like to ask is the big question, and that is what we all should be asking. So that question is why? Why is it in our pockets? Why is it embedded into the American dollar bill? And that's the question we should be asking. So now we have to at least consider that this dollar bill is not just currency that we're using. It's actually a blueprint for some type of control system or authority. So as we move to number 5 on our list, which we go here to this pyramid itself, okay? This pyramid itself, if you go to your dollar bill and you look closely, has 13 levels to it, okay? And you can go and, like I say, just count them yourself. And this 13 actually is on everything on this dollar bill. And you'll see some of that as we go further here too. But 13 is the number, but 13 levels is specifically placed number 5 right here. If we go look in the Bible that is taught, then 13 is considered the rebellion. America was founded from all of the people that actually rebelled, okay? They rebelled or they did a rebellion, and you know who it was against? King George. So that's who they actually rebelled from. America rebelled, or the people that formed America rebelled from King George. So maybe that's their message, saying, hey, this is a total rebellion, but it's worth, again, you can go look that up. Place in the comments if you have something different, because this is for all of us, right? So let's move on, because we have 5 more to continue with here. And as we get to number 6, that would be these Roman numerals that you find right here at the bottom of this pyramid. And now, what most people say, if you look at these Roman numerals, this actually represent the founding of, or the start of, the Illuminati. Now, based on the Roman numerals that we see here, it actually tells us that the Illuminati date was May 1st, 1776. So that's the day that the Illuminati was formed, which is sitting right here at the bottom, which gives you some indication who's probably behind this. But I will tell you, in here is a secret code that tells us exactly who owns it. They did it, but this will be a whole nother video. If you want to see that video, I will break this whole symbol down. It'll blow you away, but they actually say who owns and who's running all of this. They put it right here in front of us. Let me know in the comment. That'll be another video. So that takes us over here now, which is number 7, which is right there. And that there gets real interesting when you look at this particular symbol. So you can kind of open the dollar bill if you got one and follow along. If you count this, it's 13 stars, okay? That's in there. There's 13 stars. You should know by now, 13 to them represent, again, say it with me, rebellion. So rebellion is all over this particular instrument that we have in our pocket, or tool of authority, whatever you want to call it, a coded message. And for some of us, that dollar bill, y'all. Now I'm going to butcher this a little bit, but you can see it's E. If you look at it real close, then the next word is, if I can pronounce that right, will be pluberous. Okay, so E, pluberous. And the third word is unum, okay? E pluribus unum. That's what is said right here. Now, this has a hidden message too, and it's a Latin word, and it's a real deep meaning because it says this, and I'm gonna make this pretty big. From many, and then means one. So it's saying from many, one. And that's a hidden meaning. And we can take our own interpretation of that. And it could mean a lot of things, but definitely they're saying from many, one. You can go look it up. That is the Latin phrase for those two words that are sitting right here on the dollar bill itself. And you know what the kicker is? These words are exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So once again, we have the number 13. And so 13 is everywhere, and it's beginning to have not just a pattern, but also a hidden meaning as well as the message itself. Now, what I'm about to show you next should get everybody's attention. And this is when we were talking about right here, or here, or here, or here, or here, which is number 9. And that is the spider web that we see here on this dollar bill. There's a spider web all over the dollar bill. And you want to know what that means? I'm glad you asked. And if you go back to the ancient cultures again, because remember, everything is derived from ancient culture, the spider web had a real deep meaning. And number 1, that meaning was death. It had 3 different meanings. Spider web represented death, and we all know what happens when whatever get caught in the spider web. Number 2 was treachery. That was the meaning that was adopted from the spider web, treachery. So we got death, treachery, and then number 3, which brings it all together. So we'll kind of get a better understanding why the spider web is sitting on this dollar bill. And number 3 is conquest. That was the last hidden meaning. But let's think about it in our day time. We always say people are chasing the money or the material world and the trap of money instead of thinking about the conscious spirit of mind. We're in the material web, and that web is what they're talking about: death, treachery, and as well as it could be conquest. So there's a lot of things that metaphorically, the symbolic thing of the spider web that can even have more deeper intentions when they mean that, because we already know what happens to people that are chasing or caught in the mighty dollar. What does it do? It causes people to rob banks, causes people to take people's lives. It causes disarray in marriages and friendships. And it's all about this web that this dollar bill represent that we tend to live our lives from. Now, what do y'all think about that? And again, you can put that in the chat as well, your thoughts on that. So now we get to number 10, which, like I said, there's more. We're just going to stop at 10 today. And those are the olives and berries. And if you notice this and you look real close, the eagle is holding 13 olives and 13 berries. We have the number 13. So it's worth us going and look at it. 13 olives, 13 berries. And 13 is a very significant meaning within all of this. And once again, you already should learn it's about rebellion. It's totally about rebellion. And rebellion can take on a lot of different forms. And so don't take it lightly when we use the word rebellion. What we should also take into account, though, and I know some of you are thinking this, like Roderick, the olive represent, so we do know in common terms, the olive represents peace, okay? We know this. We know this in the conscious community, the conscious world, that the olive represent peace. So Roderick, why is they doing it? But what we got to recognize is that the eagle is controlling peace. The eagle is also grabbing peace. And simply what the eagle is saying, we're going to take it away. We are taking it away. And they're going to control it, okay? And we already know, once again, we're talking about the significance of the almighty dollar, and we've heard that term. As we come to a close, you don't have to agree with my decode, okay? My methods that I use is based on my symbolizer method, one of the things that I teach, but you can also start doing research yourself. Start looking up all of these different elements and wonder why it was placed together. And like I said, if you want, there's another video that I can do right here just on this symbol alone. And if there's a way and a symbol that I will architect from here and will show you that they tell us who owns this, okay? And so therefore, all of this is things that we should do. And so again, I'm Roderick Martin. I am the symbolizer. And one of the things I would do is just decode different architecture, structure, hidden messages, the unseen through our owl, the luminous, which is our owl. But again, if you're enjoying this particular video, make sure you share, hit the like button, and also place your comments, because we need to know if we want to do more things like this. And we didn't get to the front of the dollar. If I turned it around, there is one symbol that's on the front that sticks out to most, that tell us exactly that they had already had intentions for us to move into cryptocurrency, and it was sitting right on the front of the dollar. And that is amazing. And if you want to hear about that one, point it out to me in the comments. I'll see how many comments, and then I'll do a decode on that particular thing, because everything is in plain sight, right? And you have to want to know, and you want to see the unseen. But once you start learning the things that we're going to be going over, and once you see it, you can't unsee it, and then the world changes. And then you won't have a lot of stress either. You won't be stressed out, because some of these things cause stress. Unbeknown in the subconscious world, you can control all of that. But anyway, Roderick Martin, hopefully enjoy this video, and I got another one coming. See you on the next one.